where the mind is. We don't really know what the mind is, if the truth be told. It's something to do with the wiring of the brain, and when you have feelings and emotions and you can use your intelligence and all that kind of stuff, that's tied up in the mind. And the big question is, do animals have minds? And of course they do.
To hear the full podcast, go to newstalk.com, the Newstalk app powered by Go Loud, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The IMRO award-winning sports programme.
Off the Ball. This is Newstalk.
Yeah, welcome back to Off the Ball Saturday here on Newstalk. Shane Hannon with you through until 5 p.m, and plenty to come between now and then. Football Saturday is back, baby. 3 to 5 this afternoon. We're going to have Owen Doyle and Shane Keegan in studio, and the former Irish international striker David Connolly on the line as well, to look ahead to the resumption of the Premier League season next weekend, and of course to discuss the Irish teams as well, League of Ireland teams who are in action in Europe during the week, and to discuss the weekend's League of Ireland fixtures as well. Between 2 and 3 p.m. on this afternoon show, I'm going to have a Meath man in studio called Liam Hogan, who is a performance coach and physiotherapist with Williams Formula 1 team. He's had an incredible career so far, still only a young man as well. And he's really at the height of his career at the moment, and we're going to discuss what exactly that job with Williams Formula 1 entails. So stay with us for that. Just to mention the scores as well, the Irish Women's World Cup warm-up game is ongoing up in Belfast, Ireland against Canada, and it is Ireland 19, Canada 40. Late on in that game, there's around 68 minutes or so gone in that match. Anna McGann has just scored an unbelievable individual try, the Athlone winger, in that match. So a brilliant try for her. Ireland 19, Canada 40, the latest score in that game. And as we already said, it's half-time in that pre-season friendly we mentioned earlier. Benjamin Šeško, who has completed his signing for Manchester United, being unveiled to the crowd just before that game. David De Gea, of course, in goals for Fiorentina in this match this afternoon. But Manchester United 1, Fiorentina 1 is the scoreline at half-time. Robin Gosens with an own goal on 25 minutes, the goal for the Old Trafford outfit. Now, of course, it is Camogie Finals weekend at Croke Park tomorrow afternoon, because we have the junior decider between Armagh and Laois at 1 p.m. Kerry versus Offaly takes place at 3 o'clock, and then it's the big one, the senior All-Ireland Camogie Final tomorrow. 5:15 p.m. sees Galway take on Cork. It's the third final meeting in 5 years, with the sides nicely poised at one apiece. Cork, of course, the reigning champions. 5:15, the start time for that one tomorrow. We're going to look ahead to that match very shortly, but first I want to bring you a clip from during the week, because our own Rachel Shiahan, who is a Cork woman, was speaking about this Camogie final, and she says Galway can certainly bring some threats to Cork on Sunday, and she discussed how Galway might stop the Rebelettes' 3-in-a-row attempt.
That's how they'll win this game. They'll make Croke Park feel like the smallest pitch in Ireland.
Well, going, Cork are amazing. Cork were brilliant all year, and they should probably do 3 in a row. At the same time, Galway go, we're unbeaten this year. They, I thought, took care of their semi-final very professionally against Tipperary, and they go into an All-Ireland final against an opponent who they were within touch and distance at the end of the game last year.
Absolutely. Galway are laughing this week with the run of the All-Ireland final. You mentioned there, Keith, that there's no perfect preparation for a final. I think Galway have had that. They topped the group, but they had a tough group. You know, they really convincingly beat Kilkenny and Dublin, who would have been tough games.
Did the business against Waterford in the last round.
When it really mattered. Waterford travelled up to Athenry, a narrow pitch on a good day. I'd say it felt about this small, to the Waterford team. If they can put enough pressure on that Corkville forward line, they're in with such a good chance.
That's the whole trick, though. They got to keep this tight. If it's going to happen, I think if Galway win, they win on a low-scoring game.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a dirty battle that Galway are going to drag Cork down to, I think, and that's how they'll win this game. They'll make Croke Park feel like the smallest pitch in Ireland.
Yeah, that was our own Rachel Sheehan chatting to Will O'Callaghan on Off the Ball Breakfast during the week, previewing the All-Ireland Senior Camogie Final, which takes place tomorrow, 5:15 p.m. at Croke Park between Cork and Galway. Delighted to welcome to the show Matthew Twomey, the former Cork Camogie Senior Manager. Matthew, good afternoon. How are things?
Very good, Shane. How are you?
Oh, keeping well. I don't know if you were listening to the guys chatting on that clip there. Is that what Galway have to do? Kind of make this a sort of a messy sort of affair to bring Cork down to a level where they can maybe get the better of them?
Possibly, I suppose. Obviously, Cork's beating the forward line, there's going to be a fair factor there. But Galway traditionally, and even in the semi-final there, they bring a fair physical aspect with them. So, I suppose just to say that they have to mind the Cork backs, is a bit of probably unfair. They've the forwards they have are, Niamh Mallon and Eilish Riley was brilliant the last day. They've threats all over the field as well, to be fair to them.
Do weekends like this make you think back to the brilliance and the success of 2023? I'm sure it's only happy memories. Of course, that was That was quite the year for you in that Cork team.
It was, yeah. It does, like, the whole build up now, and like, there's a bit of hype here, not compared to the hurling, obviously, but there's a nice kind of a buzz going into it. But it does. There's great memories of it. You'd be made of stone if you didn't kind of wish you were there in some capacity, like, but not to the scale of what the job is anymore. But it was a fantastic time, like, and great memories from it.
What were the celebrations like? Because you're hearing rumours of the trophy going down the River Lee and all sorts of things. I mean, you have to enjoy it when you win it. Yeah,
like, to be fair to them, when they're meant to work hard, they work hard. But when that's over, they can play hard as well. Like, and yeah, Hannah Looney had this notion in her head of going on the league, like, but insane stuff, like, but like, I bailed out long before I knew that was going on, to be honest with you. Like, I just before I'd be delighted I did. I just kind of sat back and soaked it all in, because like, in my head I knew it was my last time doing it, so I kind of took a more kind of a sensible approach, I suppose.
A very mature decision, Matthew, has to be said. Well done. Also delighted to have on the line as well the former All-Ireland winner with Galway, Aoife Lynskey, or I think she's there. Do we have her? Aoife, there?
How are you?
You there? Are you? How are things?
I'm good. How are you?
Keeping well. We're keeping well. Does this fixture bring up memories of 1996? Obviously, a great day for Galway. That one.
It does, and I suppose for a long time after that, we lost about 5 All-Irelands in a row. Between Wexford and that, they were kind of the main team at the time. But now it seems to be kind of the Corks and the Galways that are the mainstay. But it's a very exciting time, and it's where you want to be. Kind of. Come September, we'd always say, but now it's August, obviously. But yeah, great times.
Is it important, Aoife, for teams like Galway, to bottle hurt? When you've been on the receiving end of, say, a defeat like last year to this Cork team, is it important to hold on to that, to remember it, to use it in the heat of the battle tomorrow?
I think you have to use it to a certain degree, otherwise it will kind of take over. But obviously, Galway are still hurting from last year's defeat, and I think, in the way they were kind of they were only beaten by a goal for a finish, but they were out and out underdogs. So I think it suits them going in this year as underdogs. But I feel from talking to the girls and talking to the management this year that there's a different there's a steeliness to Galway this year, more so than probably last year, and they're going to kind of make right for the wrongs that happened last year themselves.
Matthew, that whole idea of bottling hurt, it's hardly a new idea in the world of sport, but I remember you talking about that as well. Even after you won in 2023, you'd kind of talked about, losing a league final, losing in the championship the year before, and just really harnessing that hurt. And it was obviously something that led that Cork team to victory.
Yeah, and I suppose you have to be careful of that kind of emotion. We came off 2 All-Ireland defeats and 2 league final defeats. There was a lot of talk about, I suppose, we were under pressure going into that final. We brought it up a bit, but I suppose we just kind of used it from experience. We knew what it felt like to be hurt. Like, being in Croke Park is unreal. The 2 teams tomorrow now, 4 or 5 o'clock are going to be buzzing. Like, at 7 o'clock, like, there's only one player, one team is going to want to be there. Like, the rest of them, we want to get out as fast as you can. Like, so you have to be careful with that kind of hurt. Like, I do envisage Galway coming tomorrow was a massive bang after last year, like, because, look, to be fair, as Aoife said there, that they were mad outsiders, but they put up some performance. Like,
who are the real dangerous threats, Matthew, from a Cork perspective tomorrow? Because obviously there are plenty of them, and the scoring exploits have been no secret. Even thinking back to, like, Amy O'Connor has done it for a couple of years now. She scored that hat-trick in 2023 as well. But, like, the scoring threats that Cork team possess are quite something.
Yeah, like, I suppose the lucky thing with Cork, like, is they have a good spread of it. Like, Katrina Mackey, she's my own club as well, but, like, in the big game, she's never let Cork down. She's always up for a score. Amy, Saoirse McCarthy, Orla Callan is a fantastic up and coming player. Like, to be fair to her, Saoirse McCarthy. So, like, everywhere you look, there is threats there. To be fair to Cork, like, but they haven't come up against the backline like this one. I think this is the first year, like, even last year, I suppose, with Galway. Their defence, I suppose, their team is very unsettled, but they've a solid 6 all this year. Even when Roisin came back down in the semi-final, they've gone to a sweeper, so they're back 7, but they still have the 6. They haven't conceded. I think they only conceded a goal against Dublin in the first round, and they conceded a goal against Tipperary in the semi-final. So that's some defending. So that no matter how good the Cork forwards are, that's going to be some battle to get over.
Yeah, Aoife, that's a fair point, isn't it? Like, when you have a miserly defence like that, I think it's only, as Matthew says, 10.2 points per game conceded by Galway in the championship. Like that lays the foundations for any team to go on and win big games.
Oh, absolutely. And I suppose Galway's backs have been kind of very settled for the last kind of year or two as well. Back in there, and Rachel Hannafy has moved out slightly. And as Matthew was saying, they're kind of taking a sweeper approach in the last game or two. Ciara Hickey kind of took the sweeper approach in the last game, but I prefer kind of out the wings, driving onto ball, as opposed to kind of sitting behind waiting for ball. We know, like in Galway, that the Cork forwards are absolutely lethal. Are so important tomorrow, without getting too excited about the whole thing. But if they don't kind of match up Amy O'Connor, and Sorcha McCartan is having a serious year, as is Saoirse McCarthy, all these girls, and that's not even like talking about Orla Cahalan and Katrina Mackey and Emma Murphy as well. They've some serious forwards, but it's going to be a real ding-dong battle between Galway's backs and Cork's forwards tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. And Matthew, I've been hearing different people talking about the sweeper that Waterford kind of utilised in the semi-final against Cork, and how some would not expect Galway to go down that route. Like, will Galway just focus on their own game, play their own thing, and not really focus on a sweeper or targeting Cork that way?
I suppose down through the years, after so many different games against Cathal Murray, the only predictable thing is the unpredictability. Like you got in and knows what he could do tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if he sprung someone from the bench from the start. He's a fantastic tactician, setting up his team to beat teams like Cork were mad favourites, but we didn't beat Galway for 7 years. To be fair to the man, like the transition of players he's had over the years, like even from last year, there's 4 or 5 starters missing. It's incredible to get back to the final again, and it's a lot of credit to him. But I would say, I don't know what he's thinking with the sweeper work. Like, obviously he has something in mind, but it worked very well from in the Tipperary game. But in Cork then against Waterford, it had a sweeper, but there was actually 2 sweepers against Waterford, and it took Cork a good 20 minutes to adjust to it. But the only thing, you'd have faith in the players out in the field. There's so much experience out in the field, but the Cork team, they kind of manage the game themselves. Like even tomorrow, like it's a cauldron, trying to get messages in is very hard. So you're depending on all your leaders out there, the people that have experience, to make these changes, make these moves themselves, to change up the game, to be fair to them.
You've obviously, Matthew, been inside in a lot of these camps, and the sort of discussions that are had behind the scenes, like all the talk of the 3 in a row, even after during the speeches last year when Cork got over the line. And for a team that have 30 wins in the Roll of Honour, to not to have managed a 3 in a row since the 70s is quite incredible. Kilkenny, Tip and Wexford have obviously achieved it. In the meantime, is that 3 in a row, do you think, a tangible thing that Cork have been using this year?
Not at all. It's there. Obviously, it's in the background. I was involved in 2014, and we were going for the 3 in a row in 16, and I wouldn't say it took over, but it did definitely affect the players, and we didn't perform in the final. They went for another 3 in a row in 2019, and Galway beat them in the semi-final. But you've 6 of the start 15 tomorrow have gone through that twice. It makes no odds. This team is so professional, that all they'd be thinking about is the standards and the goals they have for the first 15 minutes. Everything else will go out the window. 3 in a row. I think they'll learn a lot from, as I said earlier, the hype with the hurlers. And the kind of the sideshow after that, with all this kind of rumours and stuff, and even closer to home, the 23s went up to play Galway in the All-Ireland final, mad favourites, and didn't turn up. So they're going to know that they have to perform, and that's what you want from your team out in the field, is just to put in the performance. If that's not good enough when you shake our hand, but that's what them set of players will just be looking at, is just their own standards.
Do you think that's a thing, Aoife? Because I was interested to listen to Hannah Looney, and she's always so fascinating to listen to, Hannah, in fairness. She was talking about how she thinks Galway will have the whole 3 in a row stuff plastered on the dressing room wall. She says us going for 3 in a row and how they're going to stop it. And she kind of made the point that it's easier to be the hunter rather than the hunted.
Yeah. Do you know what, to be honest, from chatting to them, and that I don't think they're really even interested in stopping the 3 in a row. It's not about that. It's literally about winning on Sunday. And whether that was stopping, the Cork's first time, or Cork's 5 in a row, or 3 in a row, or 10 in a row, they just want to win on Sunday. So I don't think it's even mentioned, to be honest with you. But no more than it's probably not been mentioned really in the Cork dressing room. I think Cork, all they're going to want to do is win on Sunday, and if they create a little bit of history for themselves, I'd say in the meantime, well, then that'll be great for them. But Galway are definitely just out to win on Sunday. It's not a case of stopping the 3 in a row. Definitely not. I think they're trying to make amends for last year. And I suppose there's a lot of the panel there that are, first time, being involved with them. There's a lot of the girls there from kind of 19 and 21, but there's only like one player, Aoife O'Reilly. She was playing in 2013, so she's had a fair old lengthy stint with them. And Aoife Dunn, who was there as a substitute, and so was Anne-Marie Starr in 2013. So a lot of players have been kind of bled in through the last couple of years, especially with the younger girls coming through. So there's a nice blend of youth and kind of veterans in the team. But in terms of the trying to stop the 3 in a row, I think they're just trying to win.
Who are the threats, the real Galway threats that we've seen? Like obviously the form of Caoimhe Kelly and Maria Dillon, Sean Healy, the likes have been excellent all year, I guess, Aoife.
Well, I suppose our main kind of go-to people at the minute are Niamh Mallon and Aoife O'Reilly. Had a stormer of a semi-final, so they'll obviously have to be watched. Niamh Mallon is kind of working in around the half forward line, but I can see her kind of maybe pushing into the full forward line and maybe leaving 2 inside. So Caoimhe Kelly has really come into the team this year. It's the physicality of the Cork backs is what would kind of slightly worry me in that terms. But if they get the right kind of ball into the full forward line, Maria Dillon and Caoimhe Kelly and Aoife O'Reilly, because they all have pace. Aoife has the experience as well, but they have to be watched. And again, the midfield partnership, whoever's going to be there tomorrow. Now I know Aisling Thompson has to be marked. She'll be definitely watched carefully, and obviously Hanny Luna as well. Now Kerry Dolan is named around the middle of the field, and so is Anne-Marie Starr. But we know with Cathal Murray, as you said there, you can't take the team that's written down as the team that will kind of will start, or the positions that they'll start in. So we can expect a couple of changes, and I'm sure Cork will expect that as well. But obviously around the middle of the field, that's the launching pad for Cork and their half-back line into their forwards. So that's where we have to counteract. We have to stop the supply of ball from the midfield in. So if we can do that and get the balls into the forwards, we've lethal forwards inside, and anything can happen. We're confident. I mean, Camogie people in Galway are confident that they can do it, but they have a serious battle ahead tomorrow. But so do Cork.
True. In fairness, Matthew, like when we're talking about who's going to come up on the right side of this fixture, obviously strength and depth comes into it a lot. You need a strong panel in order to get over the line. And like from a Cork perspective, do you feel like Cork have the maybe the stronger panel compared to Galway? Like even look at the semi-final, like Orla Mullins has given management team a bit of a headache with that 1-2 cameo for the last few minutes as well. Do you need those kind of players coming in and doing the business in the last 10-15 minutes? You
certainly do. Like I would say it's kind of even Stephen. Like I think there's 7-8 subs on the Galway team are after winning 23 All-Irelands this year. So like I'd say that the buzz with them come back into the panel training was huge. Like Cork lost Izzy O'Regan through Crucius the start of the year, and Fiona Keaton, the centre forward as well. She's gone travelling. And then during the week, I think it was Tuesday night, that Ciara Sullivan she'd be one of the main subs coming in. She did her Crucius as well Tuesday night, so it's very, very disappointing for her. And that Cork have got back Libby Coppinger, which is a huge plus, and Maeve Callahan didn't start; she was unfit last year as well. So like bench wise, like I think we were very lucky a couple of years ago because of circumstances and injuries and all that. We had an unbelievable bench. But a lot of those have retired or moved on or something like that. So look, I think it's going to be a massive dip, because I just think this game could be so close. It's going to be like a game of poker, I'd say, at the start. I can see it going down to the wire, and it's just what press you get off the bench yourself for the last 15 minutes. And I think it's very even looking at it on paper. I'm obviously hoping that Cork have the edge there, but it's wide open.
You need that purple patch, don't you, as well? I was watching back the highlights of the final last year again, and Galway have that purple patch between, I think it's the 42nd and the 51st minute. They score 6 points in a row, but then they just don't score again, and Cork reel off, I think it's 3 in the last 10 minutes or so, Cirque McCartan and Clodagh Finn on the score sheet. So it's so key, isn't it, from a Galway perspective? I'm sure that'll be in the back of their minds, if we get that purple patch, we just have to keep it going.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, Dave, it was Cork's bench that probably won it for them last year, and I think if Galway had opened the bench maybe a little bit sooner, a couple of minutes sooner, just to freshen up the legs, it may have been a different outcome. But on the bench at the minute, it's kind of Sabina Rabbit, Siobhan Garner that's been coming in, Ali Hesnan, and the Cork's bench, Clodagh Finn there, Maeve Murphy, Cliona Healy, all of them will give Bernard Manley a headache as well. as will Cathal Murray have a headache to see, who's going to come in and what positions. But I'll keep going back to, I think the game will be won or lost around the middle part of the field, and if they can stop the kind of supply or the orchestrator, which is definitely Aisling Thompson at the minute, Galway have a great chance.
Predictions, Aoife, are you going with the head? Is the head and the heart aligned?
The head and the heart. Well, it's just so hard to call it. I don't know how many people have asked me all week, and they're saying like, "Oh, we'll." A lot of people that don't go to many matches and they're just listening to papers and listening to kind of things are all going for Cork. But I'm like, no, I know the Galway girls. I think there's a great battle, but it could go one way or the other. It could be Cork by 5 or 6, or it could be Galway by 1. And I know that's kind of leaving me on the fence, but obviously I'm going for Galway.
Matthew, I presume you have to go for Cork, in fairness.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Look, I think it'll be very. I think it'll be a similar game to last year. I think it's going to be very tight. I'm just hoping that Cork have enough to get over it.
Okay, looking forward to it. 5:15 p.m. Throw in for this one tomorrow, Cork versus Galway. Folks, thanks a million for jumping on. Matthew Twomey, Aoife Lynskey, have a great one. Enjoy the game tomorrow.
No bother. See you later.
Thanks very much.
Brilliant stuff. Aoife Lynskey, of course, was on that 1996 All-Ireland winning team with Galway, who beat Cork in the final. Matthew Twomey, of course, as we said, won the All-Ireland with Cork as manager in 2023. He was also involved, as he said, in those years in 2014 and 15, etc., when they were winning teams as well. So really looking forward to that game tomorrow. And of course, we'll have all the build-up and coverage. Aisling Maher is going to be at the game for us, in fact, for Off the Ball on News Talk tomorrow. So we'll look ahead to that game. It's finished, by the way, in the Women's World Cup warm-up game. The rugby, Ireland 26, Canada 47. The full-time score in that one, and quite a decent second-half showing for Ireland. 2 tries each from Bevan Parsons and Anna McGann. Sam Monaghan made a big impact in the second half as well. So they're off next weekend, and then they open their Rugby World Cup campaign against Japan in Northampton on the 24th of August. So that's the full-time score in that one. Stay with us here on Off the Ball Saturday on News Talk. We're on the air until 5 o'clock. Football Saturday on the way between 3 and 5. But up next, after the 2 o'clock news, we're going to be joined in studio by a man who works as a performance coach with Williams Formula One. Liam Hogan's going to be here. Stay with us.
Follow at Newstalk FM on TikTok for the latest news, reports and trends from our presenters and reporters. Newstalk. Conversation that counts.
Throbbing headache, toothache, backache.